Have you ever felt like a prisoner of your own emotions? Sometimes it feels like we're dragged around by feelings of fear, anger, anxiety, or sadness without having any control over them. But what if you could train your mind to be stronger than those emotions? Joe Dispenza teaches us that while emotions are powerful, they don't have to control us. Instead, we have the power to control our emotional responses and train our mind to react differently. Joe Dispenza believes that our emotions are deeply connected to old patterns of thoughts and behaviors. When something triggers an emotional reaction like stress or frustration, our brain taps into past memories that reinforce those emotions. This creates a cycle where the mind repeats the same thoughts and emotions, and our body responds accordingly. The challenge is that we often live on autopilot, unaware of these patterns. The secret, according to Joe, is to become aware and reprogram the mind so it's no longer a prisoner of these emotions. In this video, we're going to explore how you can train your mind to be stronger than your emotions. We'll look at practical techniques like meditation and self-awareness that can help you take control of your mind, transforming how you deal with your emotions. Joe Dispenza explains that thoughts and emotions are deeply connected. Every thought you have creates a biochemical reaction in your body, producing a corresponding emotion. If you keep thinking about something stressful, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol. The same goes for emotions like sadness, anger, or anxiety. Your body responds physically, which reinforces the emotional cycle. Most of us spend a lot of time without realizing this connection. We live reactively, letting emotions triggered by external things or old memories control us. When you feel anxiety or fear, it's common to think these emotions are unavoidable, something that just happens to you. But Joe Dispenza teaches us that you have the power to break this cycle. The truth is, you can stop the connection between automatic thoughts and negative emotions. The first step to training your mind is becoming aware of the thoughts you're feeding every day. Ask yourself, what am I focusing my attention on? What thoughts are dominating my mind? Once you identify the thoughts that are fueling your emotions, you can start questioning and changing them. Joe Dispenza reminds us that our thoughts shape our reality, and our emotions are a direct response to those thoughts. When we start consciously controlling the thoughts we allow in our mind, we can reprogram how our body responds emotionally. This is empowering because by changing your thoughts, you change the emotional cycle, becoming less reactive and more proactive with your emotions. The mind-body connection is key here. Every negative emotion repeated over time reinforces a pattern of stress that can even impact your physical health. By training your mind to be stronger than your emotions, you not only improve your mental well-being, but also protect your body from the damage caused by chronic emotional responses. One of the most effective tools Joe Dispenza teaches for training the mind and controlling emotions is meditation. When you meditate, you slow down your automatic thoughts and create space to observe your emotions without reacting to them right away. Meditation allows you to create a distance between yourself and your emotional reactions, which is essential to breaking the cycle of negative thoughts and emotional responses. Dispenza explains that during meditation, you enter a state of deep relaxation where the flow of thought slows down. In this state, the brain begins to reorganize itself, creating new neural connections that can help you respond differently to emotions in the future. Meditation is like mental training. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to stop negative thoughts and emotions before they take over. Here's a simple meditation technique you can start practicing. Find a quiet place. Sit in a comfortable position with your back straight, close your eyes and begin to focus on your breathing. Focus on the present. Notice your breath going in and out of your body. Whenever your mind starts to wander or thoughts pop up, gently bring your attention back to your breath. Observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment. During meditation, it's normal for emotions to come up. Instead of fighting them or getting involved, just observe. Acknowledge what you're feeling, but without judging or trying to change the emotion. Stay present. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to observe your emotions without being overwhelmed by them. This practice creates space between you and your emotions. When you become the observer instead of reacting automatically, your mind starts to get stronger. You develop a greater ability to choose how you want to respond instead of being driven by emotional impulses. Joe Dispenza teaches us that meditation reprograms the brain. By training your mind to be more present, less reactive, and more observant, you change the neural structures that support old emotional patterns. Over time, your response to emotions begins to shift. Emotions like fear, anger, or anxiety lose the power they once had over you, and you gain more control over your reactions. Self-awareness is another essential aspect of training the mind to overcome emotions. Being self-aware means being present and conscious of your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors as they happen. Joe Dispenza teaches that the power to change begins with awareness. When you become self-aware, you have the ability to interrupt automatic emotional patterns and make healthier choices. Most of our emotional responses happen on autopilot. Maybe you notice that you react with anger every time you face criticism, or that you feel anxious in uncertain situations. These emotional reactions become so automatic that you often don't even realize they're happening. But when you train your mind to be more conscious, you start to notice these emotions as they arise. Here's a self-awareness exercise Joe Dispenza recommends to start mastering your emotions. Observe your emotions throughout the day. Whenever you feel a strong emotion like stress or frustration, pause for a moment and ask yourself, why am I feeling this? What exactly is triggering this emotion? Identify the thought behind the emotion. Joe Dispenza explains that emotions are always preceded by a thought. If you're angry, for example, ask yourself, what thought created this anger? By identifying the thought, you can begin to question its validity. Is that thought really true, or is it just a reflection of an old pattern? Make a new decision. Self-awareness gives you the opportunity to choose a different response. Instead of being controlled by the emotion, you can pause, breathe, and decide how you want to react. Joe Dispenza teaches that true mental strength comes from recognizing that you have the power to choose your reactions. Instead of letting your emotions drive your actions, you can train your mind to make more conscious decisions based on the present moment, not on the past or old patterns. This practice of self-awareness combined with meditation creates a powerful foundation for overcoming negative emotions. The more you practice observing and questioning your emotions, the less control they have over you. You begin to live more intentionally, choosing thoughts and emotions that bring you closer to balance and well-being. Joe Dispenza teaches us that true mental strength comes from not being a prisoner of your emotions. Emotions like fear, anger, and anxiety are part of life, but they don't have to control your decisions or the way you live. By training your mind to be stronger than your emotions, you gain freedom and control over your own life. The first step is recognizing the connection between your thoughts and your emotions. Once you realize that your thoughts create your emotional responses, you understand that you can change this cycle. Through meditation and self-awareness, you can observe your emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Regular practice of these tools not only transforms your mind but also your life. Meditation, for example, is one of the most effective ways to calm your thoughts and create space for new emotional choices. The more you meditate, the stronger your mind becomes, learning to respond differently to the emotions that arise. This doesn't mean you'll never feel negative emotions again, but it does mean you'll know how to deal with them in a more conscious and healthy way. Self-awareness is also crucial in this process. By observing your emotions and identifying the thoughts that trigger them, you start to see patterns that were once invisible. These patterns, once identified, can be changed, allowing you to choose new emotional responses that align more with the person you want to be. Remember that change takes time and practice. Training your mind to be stronger than your emotions doesn't happen overnight. It's a continuous process of self-awareness and mental reprogramming. However, as you practice, you'll start to see real changes, not just in how you handle your emotions, but also in how you interact with the world around you. Joe Dispenza gives us the tools for this transformation, but the true power lies in consistently applying them. Throughout this journey, you'll discover that you can overcome emotions that once seemed uncontrollable, gaining clarity, peace, and mastery over your mind. What are you waiting for? Start training your mind today. Every step you take in this direction strengthens your ability to live an emotionally balanced and purposeful life. You have the power to choose how you want to live, and that choice starts now.